All right, guys, this video is a few examples on how to simplify expressions using what is known as the difference quotient. So this is the difference quotient. It'll be there in the problem, so it's not something that you have to memorize, and it's honestly stuff that we've already done before. So just something to be aware of with these problems is it's going to be a lot of algebra and kind of a lot of steps to simplify everything. So you really just need to make sure you go slow, pay attention to negative signs, especially the fact that you are subtracting an entire function. So you have to make sure that you always distribute this negative sign to however many terms are in f of x. It's going to be different for every problem. All right, and this is a composition, so it's all stuff that we've done before. We're just kind of putting it into a different application. So here's the function that I'm going to be using, and I want to express f of x plus h. So basically, I'm replacing the x with x plus h minus the original function all divided by h. So f of x plus h is 2. I'm actually going to but instead of x, I'm going to replace that with x plus h. And then the rest of the function is plus 1. So I'm just going to kind of put a bracket around it so you can see. But that right there is f of x plus h. I've replaced the x with x plus h. All right, now I need to do minus f of x, and f of x is just the original function. So that's why that little note there to distribute is so that you can remember that that also needs to go. Let me pick a different color. That also kind of needs to go in parentheses. So there's the f of x. All right, and we are going to be dividing this all by h. I prefer just to simplify everything in the numerator, and then when I'm done with the numerator, I write my fraction. So I'm just going to kind of distribute and combine like terms and do whatever I can with this. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply, distribute the 2. So that would be 2x plus 2h. Plus 1, and I really don't need those orange brackets that I drew. I just drew those because these are your notes and to help you kind of realize that that's what that means. All right, now we do have to distribute this negative sign. So that would be minus 2x multiply negative times positive 1, that'd be negative 1. All right, and any like terms I have, I'm going to go ahead and combine those. So I can see I have a 2x over here minus that 2x, so those will cancel. I have a positive 1 and a negative 1, so those will cancel. So the only thing left in my numerator is 2h. So here's where I go ahead and now write it as a fraction. That's my numerator divided by h. And you can see the h's will cancel. So my final simplified version is just 2. All right, so do the same thing for number 2. Again, f of x plus h. So I'm replacing the x's with x plus h. All right, so I have, that's going to become x plus h squared. That will be x plus h minus 3. So all of that is f of x plus h minus the original function. And again, that needs to be like in parentheses because we're going to have to distribute that negative sign. All right, so when you're squaring, you have to make sure that you use FOIL or the box method to multiply it out. You do not ever distribute exponents when you have more than one term inside of the parentheses. So x plus h squared is x plus h times x plus h. And I'm kind of just doing this off to the side because I don't have a whole lot of room. So if you set up a 2x2 box or you FOIL x times x, I'm going to have x plus h, x times h plus another x times h. So that would give me 2. And then h times h is h squared. All right, so that's this piece. And then I have to distribute the 5. And then minus 3. So now everything in this first bracket has been multiplied out. All right, now I have to distribute that negative sign. So that's going to become minus x squared minus 5x, negative times a negative, that will be plus 3. All right, and I'm looking for all of my like terms. So I see I have x squared minus x squared, so those will cancel. I have a positive 5x and a negative 5x, so those will cancel. I have a negative 3 and a positive 3, so those will cancel. And I think that's all I got. So my numerator, I'm just going to put the h squared first, because normally when we have a bunch of terms left over, if something has a bigger exponent, it goes in front. So that's h squared plus 2xh plus 5h. All of that divided by h. Now you might notice that every single term in the numerator has h. So I want to factor that out so that it can cancel with the denominator. So I'm going to factor an h out. And this way, when I divide by h, I can cancel that out. So this is my final answer. Is h plus 2x plus 5. I can't simplify that any further. All right, there are some examples where instead of x, they want you to actually replace it with a number, but it's the same concept. So again, wherever I had x, I'm going to be replacing x with 2 plus h. So that would be 2 plus h plus 6. And again, that is that. Minus f of 2. So it wants me to replace x with 2. All divided by h, but I'm going to simplify this first. So 2 plus h plus 6, there's nothing for me to multiply, so I don't really need any of those parentheses and brackets that I drew because I'm not multiplying anything. So I can simplify that to h plus 8 minus 2 plus 6 is 8. So the positive 8 and negative 8 will cancel. So all I'm left with in the numerator is h. And when I divide that by h, anything divided by itself is 1. So that is my final answer for this. All right, so we will practice this more in class when I see you.